participation. And Tim, what are we doing here? What's your fun fact? Where do you appreciate politics and pop culture?
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Tim Heishman, and I lead the Advocacy Teams program here at FCNL. And a fun fact about me is my first lobby visit was when I was 17 in Senator Casey's office. And I was more nervous than you could ever imagine. And I felt like a complete fool. But if you ask my parents, I've been lobbying them since I was about this tall. And a show that I really like is called Madam Secretary. I don't know if anybody has seen that show. Yeah. What I love about that show is that Madam Secretary leads with her and just everything we would hope for, and doesn't care about the politics. And she wins, and people love it. And so it just gives me hope.
Very good. Notes of hope and aspiration. And thanks for sharing a little about yourself, Tim. And Olivia, let's round us out. Some questions.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia Delaplaine. I am the program coordinator at Friends Place on Capitol Hill, which is FCNL's Quaker Guest House and Learning Center. I'm from Maryland, from Montgomery County, Maryland. And one of the ways that I appreciate politics and pop culture, one of my favorite shows is Veep with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, also from Montgomery County, Maryland. Fun fact. And I appreciate how it speaks to the kind of absurdity and ridiculousness, but also the humor and hope and humanity that can be found working within the political system.
All right, let's hear it for our power builders. Now, those aren't the only questions we're going to hear. We're going to hear some more questions, but not from me. We're going to hear from three, one at a time, advocates who are here looking for that advocacy connection. And by the end of this session, ready? They are going to find their advocacy connection. We hope. We think we can do it. So let's call up our first advocate. Big round of applause for Rachel. Rachel, where are you at?
Hello.
All right, Rachel, thank you for joining us on Advocacy Connection. Where are you from? What are you looking for? And what's your fun fact?
Well, hello. My name is Rachel, pronoun she, her. I am from the greatest state in the Union, South Dakota. Great faces, great places. And I am, my fun fact, I have double jointed elbows. And I am looking for some advocacy that I can do with my fellow students in college and that I can do in my community with other young people.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Well, let's dive into our game, and here is how it's going to work. In our beautiful vase right here, we have some questions, and each of our advocates, we've met one already, will ask our questions of our power builders, and let's find out if we can find some matches. Rachel, do you want to pick your first question?
My first question is, I've been learning about politics and policy in class. I'm motivated to engage my members of Congress, but I don't want to do it alone. Can I take action with others?
Okay, we'll give our panel. Okay, I see some eagerness from Olivia.
Yeah, so absolutely, you can take action with others as part of FCNL's Campus Chapters program. As a Campus Chapters leader, you'll be part of a leadership team. So not just you working with a team of 3 or 4 other students on campus. And part of your goal is going to be to recruit other people on your college campus to organize with you throughout the year. And we'll train you on how to cultivate that leadership team, meet regularly, recruit, and organize others on your campus. So you won't be doing it alone.
That is a strong start for our first question. And I want to hear from number 2 over there, Tim. How would you answer that question?
Well, Rachel, you said you're from South Dakota, right? Well, that's lucky because next week we're launching a new team, a new advocacy team in South Dakota, our 49th state that we're launching a team in. So, but in terms of advocacy teams, the whole program is built on the idea that advocacy is best done in community. I know I felt so discouraged when it was just me, and I didn't think I had anybody else that wanted to do this with me. But with advocacy teams, you're part of a local team in your community that will support you to do this work for the long haul.
Okay, that's a good follow-up. That's a great second answer. Let's go for our third answer from Tanzania. How would you answer Rachel's question?
Yes. So the Advocacy Core program, while the organizers work independently all over the country, you are recruiting other people in your community, at your school, in your places of worship, in organizations around you to join you in lobby visits. So it is a little bit more self-run, but you get support from myself and the other organizers around the country, and you're bringing other people along with you into the work. You're recruiting them, you're training them to all be leaders just like you. So I would say that that is an opportunity with the Advocacy Core program as well.
Wonderful. Thank you for answering our first question. Are you ready for question number 2?
I am.
Okay, one more question for Rachel.
I'm involved in a few different groups on my campus. What is the time commitment? And I don't want to burn myself out, so I'm very interested.
Tanzania, jump on in.
Yeah, I was really excited to answer this question. So the Advocacy Core program usually requires around 25 to 30 hours in a month. So you definitely can fit it into your schedule. It's not like a full-time job, and it's a monthly, the work is done on a monthly basis. So 25 to 30 hours a month is, I can't do quick maths, but just, a few hours a week, not too bad.
And a quick follow-up, because I think Rachel might be interested in this. Are any of these opportunities paid?
Yes, the Advocacy Core program is a paid program. So as I mentioned, the work is done on a monthly basis. So if you do all the requirements for every month in your organizing work, you earn $350, and it's a 10-month long program. So you earn $3,500 throughout the time in the program.
Thank you very much. And Olivia, we're going to hear from you, and we're going to move to our second advocate. You have the last word for Rachel.
All right. So the question was about time commitment. For campus chapters, the time commitment is going to be closer to 10 to 15 hours a month. So roughly 3 to 4 hours in a week. That'll involve planning for and running regular club meetings, maybe once a week, maybe every other week. It'll involve checking in regularly with FCNL staff, attending network-wide calls, and then, of course, the time that it takes to do recruitment on your campus, go to club fairs, as well as the time it takes to set up and then participate in lobby meetings.
And Tim, did I see you wanted to get in there?
How did you see that? Yeah, advocacy teams can have as much. You can have as much involvement as you want, or you can do about 2 to 5 hours a month, which still allows you to do advocacy, but in a way that can fit a busy schedule.
All right, and Rachel, we're going to give you one more question.
Yay. I know myself well enough to know I can't do it all alone. What kind of support do you offer to empower me to succeed?
Olivia, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. Yeah. So as part of the Campus Chapters program, we offer a lot of training and a lot of coaching for all of our leaders, including a summer training series before the school year even starts, on things just like what we've done right here at Spring Lobby Weekend: storytelling, issue specific about the legislative ask training, lobby training, and we'll train you on becoming a trainer, train the trainers. As well as one-on-ones, coaching, answering questions, fact sheets, printed resources, club meeting guides, activity guides. So a combination of staff support, training, and written resources to make sure you have everything you need to succeed.
Thank you, Olivia. And Tanzania, what kind of support does your program offer?
Yeah, pretty much everything that Olivia mentioned. The Advocacy Core program includes a summer intensive training. It's 10 days long, hybrid in DC and online, where you'll learn how to train people in your community. You'll learn how to conduct lobby visits. You'll learn how to conduct one-on-ones. You'll learn how to do everything that is related to the issue and the ask itself. There'll also be resources that are on our page and in your folders that we have on Google. That's a whole nother thing, but you'll be very much equipped to take on the work. As we say at FCNL, you don't have to be an expert to be a lobbyist. You don't have to be an expert to be a leader in your community and train other people to join organizing work. But we will definitely equip you to do that.
All right. And Tim, you have some competition here on support. What support can your program offer?
Strong competition. Yeah, the advocacy teams have so many opportunities to grow, to mentor others, and to be mentored. We have some people who have been doing this work for 10 years and other people that have joined 2 weeks ago. And so we're all learning together. I learn something every week, every day. But we have regular trainings that we offer on Zoom. We have a training workbook full of advocacy training, and we have state, regional, and local leaders that can offer support as well.
Rachel, you have a lot to think about. Everybody, let's give it up for Rachel. We'll see her a little bit later, but I think we're excited to keep learning and keep meeting our advocates. So I'm going to invite up our second advocate to find their match, Isabel. Welcome, Isabel. Isabel, thank you for joining us. Same questions. Can you give us your name, where you're from, and what are you looking for in an advocacy connection?
Okay. Well, my name's Isabel, and I'm from the Friends School of Baltimore. Thank you. So I live in Maryland, and a fun fact about myself is that before I moved to the U.S. 6 years ago, I lived in India, Senegal, and Mexico. And what I'm looking for is, so I'm a high school student, but I know some college students are looking for this too. And I would really love to bring lobbying and knowledge about how our government works, both locally and federally, to my community. So how do I do that? And I also want to make that more than just bringing a group to Spring Lobby Weekend.
All right. We have another really great contestant here, an advocate who's looking for a connection. And some of those questions earlier may have helped you get a leg up here. But we have more questions. And let's find out what our first one for Isabel is.
Okay. So my first question is, I love a good story when trying to make a decision. Tell me a success story.
Ooh, a success story. Give our power builders a moment. I see Tanzania.
Yeah, I can go first. A very recent success story from the Advocacy Corps program. The current cohort is working on our Middle East policy portfolio, advocating for ceasefire in Gaza, halting weapons sales to Israel, and restoring UNRWA funding. Sorry, there's so many asks that I'm like, where are they? But those are our asks. And one of our organizers based in Minnesota has been meeting regularly with.
And then also on climate this year.
All right, we're hearing some differences here. This is good. Olivia, you want to round us out?
Yeah, so for the Campus Chapters program, in the fall, student leaders will have the option to choose from FCNL's top priority grassroots issues, which for 2025 are this issue we're working on right now, protecting SNAP and Medicaid, as well as migration, and the Middle East portfolio alongside the advocacy teams. That's for fall 2025. And then for spring 2026, once you're in the second semester, our whole network will be working together on an issue for our spring lobbying event. And we don't know exactly what that issue will be. Congress could be doing some different things a year from now. But we do know that the skills that we'll train you on this fall will be able to be transferred and applied no matter what issue we work on in the spring.
All right. Thank you, Power Builders. We have to go to a commercial break. So let's thank Isabel. We'll see her again later. All right. Our Power Builders are going to stand by, but we're going to a commercial break and bringing up our good friend Jackson. Let's hear it for Jackson.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jackson Malkus, he, him pronouns, and I am the Outreach and Events Coordinator at Friends Place on Capitol Hill. If you're not familiar with Friends Place is FCNL's guest house and civic education center. We host groups from all over the country and all over the world who are coming to DC for faith or advocacy or education reasons. We can host up to 40 people on a given night. And Friends Place is super affordable. It's $50 to $60 per night per person, depending on how long you're staying. And we have an incredible location. We're just 10 minutes away from the Capitol. So if you're thinking about returning to DC for a lobby day or to take some action on the Hill, or maybe just with your school group for an educational trip, I really believe Friends Place is one of the best places that you could go to do that. In addition to offering our space for groups to stay overnight or to use as event space for a Hill Day or something like that, we also offer civic engagement programming. You met our incredible program coordinator, Olivia, a little bit earlier, and we offer all kinds of different workshops that we do on site and remotely. We can come to you or join online, workshops in community organizing or the federal budget process or art and advocacy, which we're gonna do a little version of later today. Come join us and make some posters for protest if you want to get a little taste of the Friends Place programming. The last thing I want to mention real quick is a big event we have coming up this June. It's our Continuing Revolution Retreat. Continuing Revolution is an annual gathering of young adults who are looking to explore connections between their spiritual, political, and interpersonal lives. And the theme for the gathering this year, queer liberation and spirit-rooted justice. So if that seems interesting to you, if you want to know more, come speak to a member of our team, myself, Olivia. Sarah, are you in the room? Sarah's back there waving. Yeah, talk to any one of us. We have a little table set up next to the registration desk and would love to connect you guys to talk about lodging for a trip or doing some programming around advocacy with us or coming to this awesome retreat. And if you're on Instagram, follow us on Instagram at Friends Place DC or check out our website, friendsplacedc.org. Thanks.
All right, we're giving our power builders another minute or so, and we're going to hear from Vanessa. One more plug for an opportunity.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vanessa. I'm on the migration policy team at FCNL. It's good to see some familiar faces and some new ones. So I'm here to tell you about our storytelling project to uplift immigrant communities. So the goal with this project is to raise up local on-the-ground stories and create a more compassionate, humane narrative around immigration in the United States. So if you have lived experience, if you're an immigrant, or if you have family members that are immigrants, if you have experience volunteering or working with immigrant communities, or if you feel otherwise called to speak on this issue, we would love to hear from you. So Anika and I will have a spot set up all day on Tuesday in the Dozier Library at St. Mark's Church. So if you have some downtime between lobby visits, you can come and find us and have a little chat just for a couple of minutes. We would love to connect. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Vanessa. And we are back at Advocacy Connection. I'm your host, and we're going to call up our third advocate, Jesus. Let's hear it for Jesus. Same questions. Hello, hello. Can you give us your name, where you're from? What are you looking for in a connection?
Yeah, my name is Jesus Martin. He, him, it pronouns. I'm from San Diego, California. And I'm looking for an opportunity to be able to engage with other advocates in my own community, in my own city, but also have the ability to expand a little bit more and advocate for the justice issues that I care about statewide as well.
All right, that's a good one. I think we have some, hopefully some connections in the works. Let's pick our first question for you.
I'm interested in leadership opportunities. What can your program offer?
All right, leadership. Tanzania, let's kick it off.
Yeah, I keep starting, sorry. But the Advocacy Core program, as I mentioned, it's very self-motivating. You're building up people in your community to also be leaders, but you are starting the work yourself where you are in your congressional district. So if you are interested in learning new leadership skills and building out base building in your community, connecting with new folks, building other people to be leaders too, the Advocacy Core program is the right choice for you.
All right, and Tim, what about you?
We have so many opportunities for building your leadership. You can lead a local team. We have statewide coordinators, regional leaders. You can also share stories of your advocacy in front of hundreds of people on our national call every month. And if you're really interested in learning more about organizing, talk to my colleague Eleni, our advocacy team's organizer, because she's starting a really exciting organizing cooperative to learn organizing skills.
All right, we're hearing lots of opportunities for leadership. Olivia, what can you offer?
Yeah, campus chapters also have some leadership opportunities for students on different campuses. You'll be part of a leadership team, like an executive board or an e-board, where you'll get the chance to assign roles and responsibilities, decide who'll be co-chair or president or treasurer. You will get to run a lot of meetings, lead a lot of trainings, practice sharing leadership, dividing responsibilities, holding each other accountable, as well as other opportunities to take leadership, like maybe leading the research about your members of Congress or leading on graphic design for some cool posters to put up around your campus. So lots of ways to be a leader within campus chapters.
All right, we got a lot of good information there. Hopefully that's helpful in making a connection.
Yes, thank you.
We have time for one more question.
Describe what skills and qualities would make someone a great candidate for your program.
Olivia, let's go to you.
Yeah, so I think the ideal candidate for a campus chapter leader is someone who's a student at a school, someone who really is interested in getting in on the ground floor and starting and creating a new program, but also being invested in sustaining it and making sure it's a structure that can last even after you graduate from that school. So it's great for first year students, second year, third year students at schools. It's also great if you have a group of other people in mind that you might want to form your leadership team with. You should also probably be someone who likes leading meetings, maybe leading some icebreakers, public speaking, or someone interested in growing those skills, as well as someone who's looking for a leadership opportunity. So maybe you aren't yet a leader. You're not already, say, a president of 2 other clubs on your campus, but you're looking for kind of a first leadership opportunity. The Campus Chapters program could be a great fit for you.
Okay. Tanzania, do you want to take this one next?
Yes, some skills I think are ideal for an advocacy core organizer is one, being passionate. Like I mentioned, it's a self-driven project. So being really passionate about engaging your community, being passionate about the issue, being passionate about speaking to your members of Congress is one thing that's really important. Another thing to mention about the Advocacy Core program is that it is a young adult program. So it's for folks ages 18, 19 to 30. But there's intergenerational work. We have our advocacy organizers connect with our advocacy teams folks, connect with organizations in their area. And so being interested in intergenerational dialogue is something I would say is also a necessary skill, as well as being really interested in passionate and curious about engaging with your members of Congress. You're scheduling lobby visits, you're inviting people from your community to join lobby visits, you're prepping them, you're training them. Lobby visits, as we've been talking about throughout this entire conference, can be kind of difficult to engage in. It's not always a positive experience after every visit, but being consistent and being passionate and being interested in having dialogue with people all across the political spectrum in your community and in your legislature, I would say makes a really, really great advocacy corps organizer. And really emphasizing the consistency point again, because you are leading this work, it requires a lot of follow-up. It requires a lot of reconnecting with folks in your community and also with the staffers that you're engaging in. Like I mentioned, the 25 to 30 hour commitment, I would say a good chunk of that is following up. Having one-on-one discussions, keeping people engaged and keeping folks in your network and keeping the good work going. So those are just some qualities, I think, and skills that are necessary for a successful advocacy corps organizer.
Well, if someone was feeling, to follow up real quick, if someone was feeling like, oh, I sound like a great candidate, is there any, do they need to know a date or anything?
Yes. So the application, like I mentioned, is live for the Advocacy Corps program. Within your booklet, on the last page is a QR code that takes you to our info page where you can find the application, which is the deadline to apply is April 18th. So just a couple weeks away. Where are we? No, a few weeks away. April 18th is the deadline. And like I mentioned, you can find the code to the application in your booklets.
Well, maybe that'll be someone's advocacy connection. Thank you, Tanzania. And I think we'll hear last from Tim here.
Advocacy teams are truly open to anybody of any age. I have a 5-year-old daughter who just wrote her first letter to Congress on Medicaid. And we have people all the way up to their 90s. So you can really invite anybody to be a part of advocacy teams. But really a desire to have a world with more justice and more peace are the key qualities, as well as enjoying working with others as part of a team.
All right, let's hear it for Jesus. And we're going to go to one more commercial break, but we'll see him again shortly. Our 3 advocates are thinking hard about who they may want to match with, and we'll hear from them soon. But first, one more commercial break. And we're going to talk about, if you're starting to wonder, am I going to have my own advocacy connection? What can I do about that? And we'll get a slide up, and this is in the program as well. Thank you to Power Builder Tanzania reminding us in the program. There's lots of great stuff. You got your schedule, got QR codes to keep going. And one thing that we like to do here at FCNL is try and provide you with the information, but then information that you can take to keep sustaining your advocacy, something all 3 of our power builders have discussed. So what are some of the next steps you can take? These include filling out our next steps advocacy connection interest form. That'll tell all of us up here, as well as staff who we couldn't bring up on the stage, who are working on programs, working on recruitment, working on resources, all of the support structures we were hearing about from our power builders. So we have an interest indicator that we'd love for you to fill out, and then that's how we can support you, as well as you can find your advocacy connection. Our next opportunity outside of Spring Lobby Weekend is our April recess action. So during recess, which means Congress is not in session, so members of Congress, your representatives, your senators, they often are in district. You may have seen some of this in the news. They meet with constituents, their staff are meeting with groups of people, with individuals. And the April recess is around the Easter holiday this year. They're home for 2 weeks, April 14th through 25th. And why this is important as part of this next steps and finding your advocacy connections is this is where you can kind of find and hone some of those skills we've heard about, invite others into your advocacy by bringing them along. So this is connected, as well as everything we're talking about in this session, on that interest indicator, the next steps interest indicator. We have a variety of issues you've heard about. I think I've counted at least 6 issues we've heard from our power builders. And in the April recess, it's a great opportunity for you to follow up on your visits that you'll be doing this week. When you go back home and you re-engage the congressional offices, it's showing that sustained and persistent advocacy that's saying, I'm not going to let you not pay attention to this. It keeps the pressure going, and it's a great way to let them know that you're going to continue to pay attention and advocate on this. But there's other issues that FCNL will be organizing around, including our migration and refugee related asks, our clean energy and climate. I believe April is Earth Month. We have Earth Day right in the middle of this recess, so there's opportunities there as well. So in that interest indicator, just mark that. And then tomorrow, we have a lot of opportunities to not just hear the information you just have been hearing during this session, but much more of an opportunity to engage in conversations with Tanzania, with Tim, with Olivia, with Jackson, with Eleni, with everybody. We really have a lot of opportunities. This is the advocacy connection section in the agenda for tomorrow. So on the April recess side, if you'd like to learn more about how you can get engaged, we'll have some staff there to talk about it and offer support, answer questions. We are working with coalition partners to get a roster of people who are willing to jump into lobby visits once we know when they're scheduled as well. So a lot of ways you can engage, and we'll also have these sessions available to learn more about campus chapters, advocacy teams, and advocacy core. So that's in the program for tomorrow afternoon. And let's bring it back to wrap up our game show. We're going to bring back our 3 advocates. Let's hear it for Rachel, Isabel, and Jesus. Okay, what we've all been waiting for, we are going to hear one by one who they want to match with and why. If you have guesses, feel free to shout them out a little bit. If there's someone that you want to connect with after this, hopefully you can take what you hear from them and you can figure out, why do you want to connect with Tanzania? Why do you want to connect with Olivia? Why do you want to connect with him? Why do you want to connect with these programs? Jesus, do you want to kick us off?
Okay, so first off, thank you for answering those questions. I really appreciate it. This is, I think, my 3rd or 4th time here, so I really appreciate all of this. I've heard a lot of all 3 programs, but I really think I will go for the advocacy teams.
All right, advocacy teams, you have been matched. Tim, do you want to stand with your match? All right, let's hear it for Jesus and Tim. Advocacy teams, advocacy teams. All right, our advocate number 2, Isabel, who would you like to match with?
Well, it was a very hard choice, but I think I'm going to match with campus chapters because I think it's just a great way that I can bring lobbying to my school communities all year round.
All right, Olivia, campus chapters. I don't know who match number 3 is going to be. I'm on the edge of my seat, but Rachel, our 3rd advocate, who would you like to connect with?
Well, just because I want to work on something all year round and I feel like I'm ready for the next step to be a leader in my college community, I am going to match with Tanzania.
Advocacy Corps, you have a match. All right, everybody, let's hear it for our advocates, our power builders, our advocacy connections. One more round of applause. Thank you. All right, you all can depart. Thank you so much. And as we wrap up our game show, a reminder about what we were covering there a few minutes ago in our last commercial break. Please, please, please check out the schedule for tomorrow afternoon, the Advocacy Connection Find Your Match sessions. There's 2 opportunities. So how they work at 12:45 and 2 o'clock is you choose which one you want to go to. The locations are in your schedule. And you'll be in those sessions for 25 minutes. And then we'll have a 5-10 minutes to transition to another connection opportunity that you would like to go to. You see the locations here, you see the staff, this is all in the program. You'll have 25 minutes in each of those 2, and then we built in even more time after that before the closing where you can go and have even one-on-one conversations with the staff that'll stick in those rooms afterwards. So if you want to go check out campus chapters and April actions, but you really want to make sure you talk to Olivia that time afterwards, there's plenty of time for you to connect with her, get her business card. Thank you, everyone, for hearing out our connections. We hope that this gets you thinking. And before we break, I'm going to bring up Larissa.
Hello. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, because I'm up here, I think you know that means that it is announcement time. So I just want to really emphasize those Monday sessions that Justin said. Like, it will be really helpful for you all to figure out what your next step is if you really have that one-on-one time with our program leaders. And I really hope that everyone checks out at least one of those things. I was standing back there listening, and it's so fun to hear everything in one session. There's so many opportunities that we were able to present to you all just now. And hopefully at least one of those resonated with you as something that you can do when you go back home after Spring Lobby weekend. But now I do just want to make sure that everyone has what they need for the rest of the day. And I won't be speaking to you again today. We're not coming back to this room again. After this, we have workshops, and it's the same workshop once, then there's a break, and then they're repeated a second time. So if you go to the page 6 of your program, you'll find the workshops listed. And if you can't decide which one to go to, you can go to 2, because again, they are repeated. And that is the rest of the day. The rest of the day is workshops. At 5 o'clock, we have those optional office hours for people who have more policy questions. That'll be in this room. And then in the other room just over there, our designated listener, Dr. Munaza, will be available for more direct one-on-one time if someone had been struggling to connect with her. And I did also just want to talk very quickly about something that came up in one of the other sessions. So someone was mentioning about lobbying alone. And although that person said that they totally have it, we were thinking, okay, let's acknowledge that for everyone in the room, because it's more than one person that will probably have to go to a lobby visit on your own, especially if you're the only person within your district. You do not have to do it alone if you don't want to. So if there's someone in your group that is maybe just not in your district, so they're not technically in that visit, but they're free, they can go with you. Buddy system is totally fine here. Just make sure that when you're in your visit, only the person whose district that really is speaking. Representatives and senators will be very particular about making sure that they are really hearing constituents, people that are either in their district, live in their district, that they truly represent. So if you're bringing a friend who's not technically supposed to be on that visit, but they're supporting you, that is completely fine. Just make sure that they're mostly only there for that moral support, and that you're still the one doing all the talking as the constituent. And you can say that at the beginning of the meeting too, like, hey, my friend's just here to support me, but I am your constituent. I'm the one that's going to be telling my story. That's totally fine. And if you don't have someone in your group that can join you, and you are lobbying alone in your district and you don't want to, we every year will send FCNL staff as the buddy for people who request that. So if you're sitting there in that situation thinking, I really don't want to do that by myself and I don't know who could join me, Justin will be at the lobby table like he has been. And you can let him know, and then we can assign an FCNL staff member to kind of be your buddy. And again, we do that every year. We're totally used to that process. So don't hesitate to let us know. It is so important to us that everyone is comfortable and confident when they're in those visits. And if that means having a friend or friendly face join you, we absolutely will help make that happen. And we also just wanted to acknowledge that, you know, if anyone does start to feel really, really nervous about their visit, that we have our designated listeners available to help, either go through what you're feeling or just to like have someone to chat with a little bit. And they will be available on Tuesday. So if you go on a visit and something happens in the visit that you really need to talk through, there will be someone, both of our designated listeners, Linnea and Dr. Munaza, will be there available for you all to exit a visit and, you know, decide you need to speak to someone of the listeners. They will be in the church. So we just wanted to give that kind of overview of some support we want to offer for lobbying. This is not the first, or this is not the only time that you'll hear me probably say this. When we really release everyone for lobbying, after we're all done tomorrow, I'll say a little bit more about this as well. But just don't hesitate to come to us with any of those concerns. We will always do what we can to make sure that everyone's feeling good about it. So workshops are next. They are at 2:45. So you have like 20 minutes to kind of do what you need to do and then go to that first workshop and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, everybody.